you know this story. In July, when the Astronomer CEO Andy Byron lost his job after he was caught on a kiss cam at a Coldplay concert, that kiss cam with a colleague. He's not alone. This week, Nestle's CEO lost his job over an office romance. In May, the Kohl's CEO was fired over an undisclosed relationship with a vendor. C-suite romances continue to cause turmoil atop some of the world's biggest companies. Matthew Boyle, Bloomberg senior management and workplace reporter, joins us now. I mean, Matthew, it's not like this is new, but the fact is really cropping up. It's like, why are these men doing this when they know it threatens not just their job, but throws the entirety of the company into turmoil?
I mean, it's funny. I asked an ethics professor this very question yesterday, and she just sort of threw up her hand. She's like, honestly, it puzzles me. Do they just still think they're going to get away with it? Do they think they're untouchable? We don't really know. You kind of have to put these guys on the couch for a little while to figure it all out. But these things still continue to happen.
You wrote also a really good story not that long ago of just how expensive it is to get a new CEO. We've had some really high-profile circumstances with that happening. Why isn't there more scrutiny? Why aren't there more companies trying to prevent this sort of thing from happening and having more clear guidelines because of the cost to the company?
Yeah, I mean, I discovered that to bring in the new Starbucks CEO, for example, it's a $130 million proposition just to get that person in the door and the former CEO out the door. You know, they want a rock star CEO sometimes. Maybe they don't do enough due diligence. I have talked to some companies that do a lot of digging around these CEO personalities, and they find that there often are red flags that get overlooked, or a red flag that's just sort of downgraded to a yellow flag, let's say, because we really want this person in the seat.
And you also wrote about these employee hotlines that I think are really fascinating, and I hadn't really been aware of these, and the fact that they're getting more calls. What does it show about, we see kind of the reported things, but what's actually happening underneath the tip of the iceberg?
Exactly. It's a fascinating, it's like a lot of elements of human resources. We don't really spend much time thinking about them, but they very much exist and they need to work well. There were 10,000 more calls to one vendor's hotline last year that I reported. And these investigations, it's great to have these hotlines, of course, but I also found, according to one survey from one of these hotline vendors, 38% of the investigations are just conducted according to suggested guidelines, and 4% had no guidelines whatsoever. Let's wing it, you know? And so if you're not doing the investigation, what's the point of having the hotline? So, yeah, and also employees think they might get retaliated against as well.
Matthew, I'd say just listening to you, after the Me Too movement, after all of these high-profile cases, it still doesn't seem like there's any real driving force to reform, to change. Is that fair, or is there anyone trying to lead the charge to say, hey, these workplace romances, they're not okay, and maybe it also underscores a lack of diversity?
It's important to remember how rare this is. Despite all the high profile, since 2017, among big U.S. companies, 2,500 CEO exits, less than 2% were due to allegations of misconduct. So let's remember, it's not happening as often as we think, despite Coldplay canoodling and all of that. But yeah, you're right. You know, it still continues to happen. So, you know, and we thought Me Too would be the end of it, but of course not. People are still people.